Verizon is the biggest carrier in the US and has a large selection of phones. So if that's your carrier, you may need some help making a choice. And at the top of the list has got to be Samsung's flagship, the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. This time around, they included a unique 18:9 aspect ratio that allows for a much more comfortable in-hand feel. The company even ditched its famous physical home button and included an on-screen navigation. Under the hood, these devices come with Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor, or the Exynos 8895, depending on the region in which you live. 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of onboard storage, and one of the latest versions of Android 7.0 Nougat. Samsung also launched a few extra accessories alongside the S8 that you should definitely consider checking out. The new Samsung DeX dock that lets you use your S8 as a desktop computer. And there's also the new Gear 360 camera that allows for shooting video in 4K and live streaming to YouTube. Of course, there's also the new Galaxy S8 compatible Gear VR headset, complete with a controller for easier navigation. Now, when it comes to the LG G6, the most standout feature is the 5.7-inch Quad HD display with its interesting aspect ratio of 18:9 and rounded corners. It also comes with a Snapdragon 821 processor, 4 GB of RAM, plenty of onboard storage, and an IP68 rating for dust and water resistance, and dual 13-megapixel rear cameras. It's also worth noting that not all LG 6s are created equal. For example, the G6 that's coming to the US is the only variant that supports wireless charging, while the Hi-Fi Quad DAC is exclusive to South Korea and certain markets in Asia. What's more, the G6 with 64 GB of storage is only available in a handful of markets. Now, although the LG V30 has recently been released, you should know that if you're on Verizon, the LG V20 is still a good option. The LG V20 has a big Quad HD display, Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 processor, plenty of RAM and onboard storage, dual 16-megapixel rear-facing cameras, and a removable 3200 mAh battery. And of course, the unique second screen makes a return, along with the addition of Quad DAC, military standard, durability, and it's also running Android 7.0 Nougat. Now, although the next two devices have sort of left the Nexus heritage to the wayside, in this list I do have to add the Pixel and Pixel XL. Under the hood, these devices sport some decent specs. Both devices have AMOLED displays, Snapdragon 821 processors, 4 GB of RAM, plenty of onboard storage, and long-lasting batteries. The overall design, however, may not be your choice, and it may not be the most unique, but they do feel like premium phones through and through. Now, there may be a couple things that will turn some of you away. For example, they only have an IP53 rating for dust and water resistance, meaning that they're not as waterproof as some of the competition. Plus, the devices aren't known to be the most durable ever, so if you are prone to being butterfingers, you may want to get a good quality case for your phone. Now, if you don't like any of those options, no problem. Contact Santa and tell him you want an iPhone for Christmas, and while you're at it, mail him your geek card.